If you haven't done it by now, just subscribe to PewDiePie. He represents the last you in YouTube, and with this T-Series PewDiePie battle, I find that incredibly important, and it's also why I want to do a video giving my thoughts as to what's going on right now. Because my biggest takeaways from this is I don't trust YouTube for a second, and I feel that there is nothing organic left on the site except for what is happening on screen right now. This is people coming together and then showing we do not yet accept the death of the individual content creator, no matter how hard. YouTube is stacking the deck against PewDiePie and in favor of T-Series, and that's what I hate so much. Everything is all algorithm based. There's nothing natural left on YouTube, and that's why I don't trust it anymore. We have the deep learning AI, then YouTube kind of puts their hands in it and then makes it to where, certain things don't succeed and other things succeed more than others because they want it to succeed. It's all corporate right now. The algorithms don't make sense. YouTube's platforms, their social media are just constantly lying to us saying sub boxes work perfectly and there's no such thing as notification burn, everything's just fine. And then you go to the trending tab and it's obviously hand-picked and there's nothing natural. There's no natural virality left. There's no natural features left. The recommended page, like the homepage, just doesn't work anymore, and it just feels like you're just getting fed what YouTube wants representing the site instead of years ago. People that grew up on YouTube, it was whatever the people wanted was growing on YouTube, and that's where PewDiePie gained his crown and became the most subbed channel and then held that just because people were loving what was going on. I'm gonna admit, I wasn't a big fan of PewDiePie back in that time. Now that he's gone through like all these different channel rebrandings, I'm really appreciating what he's doing now. Like he's the spokesperson for YouTube. Well, not spokesperson, but he is the people's voice of YouTube. He does great meme review. I love his commentary right now. I think PewDiePie is on point, and just when I wasn't a big fan of like his Happy Wheels and like some of the more cringy and over-the-top stuff they did back in the day, but now it's like, what, PewDiePie has really deserved everything that he has, and I find that really cool, and also that's why maybe you haven't really given PewDiePie a chance the last couple years. You should now. It's definitely very refreshing to watch his content, and it's also very entertaining, but when we look at things that are happening on the site, like look at this right here, like as it refreshed, there was some like shenanigans where it's like, going up, up, down, and then boom, T-Series popped off a bit. That's what it looks like, for a while, throughout the month of November, PewDiePie, it's like, it's over, GG, it's done. PewDiePie be like, oh, we got some subs, we can't lose, and then getting like little pops and stuff. And then Mr. Beast came in, and then Markiplier and Jacksepticeye recently, with the massive support, giving PewDiePie that bust. It was like, we were within 15K. PewDiePie was down and out and then bounced up 400K subs like that, like 500K, 900K in 2 days or something. It was ridiculous. But this is where I don't understand. Like, PewDiePie gets a little bit of momentum and then T-Series strikes back harder. And we've been watching that for a while now, over the last couple months, people have really kept their eyes on what's happening here. And that goes into the game theory. So a lot of what I'm doing about this video is really based on the game theory because it's effectively the war over India. That Facebook, Google, Microsoft, they really want this emerging market that has over 1 billion population. It's like 1.3 billion people live in India, to where they're actually installing internet and then hooking them up with their platforms. And it's gotten to the point whenever you make an account, like an Indian YouTube account, you're automatically subscribed to T-Series. So that's where there's a lot of botting and a lot of manipulation and a lot of stuff that I don't even trust YouTube. YouTube over promoting T-Series, not letting the actual largest content creator on the site, the most sub content creator, find the growth and stuff because of the bad name around PewDiePie with the Nazism and the things that he's done in his past, and also just not being what YouTube wants. YouTube wants a T-Series. YouTube wants a corporate, very clean attitude, very polished content. I'm not saying this against PewDiePie, his content right now is well edited and stuff like that, but again, it's the individual. It's what he can make versus what T-Series makes, where they're putting out music videos every day, when they're effectively their own corporation representing multiple different kinds of content on the site. YouTube wants that representing it, especially when there's a larger audience in India than in North America or even a larger part of the world. And because of that, I don't trust YouTube's fishiness right here, and this is all organic. What's happening with PewDiePie right now is people standing up and going, we're going to subscribe to him because we want to, not because YouTube is pushing him in our face or taking him out of our face and doing all this weird manipulation. And that's kind of like the really scummy thing. But one point that MatPat hits on in this like game theory video that I find amazing is like when it's about what the push is for India. This is a home for you. This is where you can make content and shine. This is where India dominates right now. Trying to, like, pretty much YouTube has been using T-Series as like the ultimate Indian propaganda. And again, that's so inorganic. That's so disgusting and against everything that YouTube has been over the last couple of years. But you can see this with the shift in the algorithm. YouTube gets worse and worse every day. And like years ago, you can really feel it's like, I'm not discovering as much content as I like anymore. I keep getting all this like really pushed out, forced BS in my face when it comes to YouTube, and now my sub box isn't working, so who I want to watch, I'm not getting access to anymore. And it just gets worse and worse with that. Also, when you look at how T-Series has been performing, 70 million subscriber channel, 300k views, 295k views. Yeah, sure, some of them pop off into the millions. That's just like a really cultural video that, whenever any music video from a large musician or a large composer comes out, it's going to get tens of millions, hundreds of millions of views and stuff. And T-Series has kind of become a hub for that in India, but it looks like it's getting over promoted, overly pushed. And then some of the less, the less cared for ones, they get bombed by, people outside of India that are hating the way this war is going. You can see like there's this weird push going on, like 100k views, all this strangeness, and it's just not adding up. That the current state is T-Series is about to get a record number of subscribers, but that should have already happened, as they were going into this big push into the summer, as we were already watching, T-Series catch up with PewDiePie. It's like, all right, cool. And then it started to slack off a bit, slack down. We had 2.4, so the views are also dropping off for T-Series, even continue to go down. As they're getting record sub numbers, 2.3 billion views, 2.2 billion views. They're going to go into like one of the lower view counts that they've had for the last 6 months, but then record subs for the entirety of their channel. Whenever PewDiePie catches up, then T-Series has like a record day, and then just keeps going bigger and bigger. So that's why I don't trust what's happening right now. I don't know what fishiness YouTube is pulling with Google and trying to just keep T-Series afloat when nothing else represents it. Like if you're an Indian, you should be insulted by what is happening right now. It's like, okay, so now you have like these videos that aren't really getting enough views to represent something that's dominating YouTube, when PewDiePie is getting insane amounts of views consistently, regularly and stuff. And then also like these dislike ratios, because your country, the people on the platform aren't supporting T-Series. They're just being auto-sub to, maybe click on the occasional video, maybe watch like that big cultural one, and then that's it. So even by YouTube's own logic, even by like what's discussed in the game theory video, even by like the algorithm and stuff, it doesn't show enough to actually support the performance that T-Series has suddenly gained now that PewDiePie is a threat, when he was written off like a year ago, as, eventually he's going to get overtaken by something, and T-Series has been bubbling in the background for a while. You look at some of the other collaborative things with T-Series, they have all these other Kids Hut, I don't even know what that is. Chartbusters, Bollywood Classics, movies, all this stuff. Like, yeah, that's millions of subscribers. These are some of the craziest channels, and T-Series has already pretty much taken over like everything that represents for the market in India. But they're not getting insane growth. Like, these should have double the subscribers if this is natural growth for T-Series that is representing India, and not YouTube artificially pulling some shenanigans right here. So, like, the numbers don't add up, and I really don't like that. And that's why I want to give my thoughts on that. PewDiePie, he's getting all this massive support, he keeps going, but then T-Series is like, wait, what? How did they pull out all these numbers when they didn't upload for a few days? And you can even compare it to their older videos. It's like, oh, well, they just had, in the last week, 3 videos that got millions of views, and some that got like 20 million views or something. That's nothing. That's nothing for T-Series. Because they have 600 million, but it says 660 million views, but the view count's only 626, 560, 553, 490, 485. So, like, there's some kind of artificial stuff. There's some inflation going on to, like, really over-push and over-promote the content on T-Series, and they're getting away with it. But also, 11 months, year, 3 years, 2 years, 4 months ago. So, like, their biggest viral hits, they're years ago, months ago. Nothing very recently, and that's as they were growing up. So now that the views are starting to slide off a bit, everyone knows what T-Series is. All the articles, those articles came out in like September, August, July, as it really looked like T-Series had already won, that PewDiePie was gone, done and dusted, but now it looks like he might survive into 2019. But like, that's it. Like, there's nothing else to talk about when it comes to T-Series. Everyone should be aware, everyone should have access, and everyone's already been signed up, but now things are over the top. 560 million views on 224. Something's not right here, guys, and that's kind of why I wanted to show you guys. Like, I want to give my thoughts on this, because I've just been upset for a while. You're watching like these little spikes where it's like, oh, 9,000 subs, 10,000 subs. This subscriber auditing is always in favor of T-Series. PewDiePie almost never gets like these crazy weird bumps and jumps. Then T-Series has some funkiness, despite PewDiePie gaining more subs. So if PewDiePie's getting more subs, his numbers should be more volatile, and then risking dropping or gaining 10,000 subs that's getting audited. But T-Series is like suddenly getting like these weird botting looking things. And like, look at this mess over here. Now that we're getting into like the Markiplier Jacksepticeye, like, what in the world? T-Series is going on? That like suddenly, oh, like they're getting a lot of power today out of nowhere when they shouldn't be. And then PewDiePie's just been consistent and then getting a little bit of support. So I don't know. That's it. I don't know what else to add to this. I don't have like all the crazy MatPat game theory numbers. It's more just my theory that something's wrong. Something's been wrong for a while. YouTube is pulling some shenanigans to really flex in India, and we're not letting that happen. We're going to lose though. I think PewDiePie might make it to 75 million. 100 million would be like the ultimate victory, but 75 million is a really good showing, and you just can't beat it when the platform itself is manipulating things against you. And that's what YouTube should never have been about and should not be about. But that's the state of YouTube that we're in right now. You know, I think about like the hashtag of black creators, where it's just like, oh yeah, you know, these Indian channels, these black channels, they can't do anything by themselves, so YouTube has to be the guiding hand, which suppresses other content that would otherwise naturally be gaining momentum. So too much agenda, too many politics, I hate it. I want to make a statement about that, and I don't really know what that means, but it's something. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.